Hey everybody, good energy to you guys. So, this project, which the project is all about building the kingdom of heaven here on earth. And it talks about in the good book, how the kingdom of heaven will come down and be here on the earth. And I think, to me, that means that, the information, the connection to God and to the heavens that we humans need to create this kingdom of heaven will come to us, has come to us. And, as it says in the good book, a love of money is the root of all evil. And with everything going on in Ukraine and Russia, and the rest of the world watching and, thinking about what they're going to do, everybody's got their own backup plans upon backup plans upon backup plans upon backup plans to help counteract whatever may happen. And, I saw that Ashton Kutcher and his wife, Mila Kunis, I hope I pronounced that right, they've raised up $20 million and sent it over to Ukraine. And I think they're shooting for $30 million. I don't know all the specifics, but that's just what I've heard. And I think that's beautiful. That's awesome, man. That's the type of stuff that is helping to spread more love, to help spread more good energy, to help spread more sustenance and abundance to those who really need it. And it's acts like that, out of kindness, out of, with no expectation for reward, that are really going to help humanity change into something that's different than the way we've been for quite a while now. So I'm glad to see that. I really am. When I saw that, it warmed my heart and it gave me more hope and inspiration. Now, one thing I want to say, just from a strategic or logistic standpoint, that money can be used, okay, but how we use it and the way it's distributed, means a lot. So, like the situation over there, it's a war-torn country, it's a war-torn conflict. The area has got all sorts of different moving parts and things going on. We here in America have an abundance of a lot of things. There's a lot of resources, and there's a lot of land, and there's a lot of, I think, based on the people that I've met, a lot of good people with a lot of really good hearts. And all different types of races and, perceptions and colors and views. And I said colors, we all are different colors. My skin has a particular color to it. So it is what it is. It's nothing derogatory. But, Dustin has a very strong heart to open up a non-denominational church because he wants, like myself, to help everybody who's willing to, help each other, and spread the love and spread the good word, and when I say good word, it doesn't literally have to mean, the word of Christ. It can just be love, sending some love to somebody, saying you love them, helping them out through a hard day, whatever it may be. But it being non-denominational allows for all races, all religions, all creeds, anybody and everybody who wants to be a part of this and is willing to be respectful to one another and follow some basic moral and ethical standards is allowed in. And I think here in America, it's the perfect spot to start setting up different locations of this type of a kingdom of heaven or project, whatever you want to call it, to help people in foreign countries, foreign lands, faraway places and faraway lands, to leave those ravaged countries and those war-corrupted, torn-up lands and conflict-strewn areas and come over here. We can help provide them. We can start building ships out of hemp. We can start, developing our own alternative gas from hemp. We can start developing our own alternative batteries from hemp. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on what hemp can do. And if we have the mentality and the heart to do so from the love of our heart and not from a love of money, then we're going to be able to develop a good abundance that's not going to have the same type of constraints and attachments that a love of money has. And we can develop different charities and different accounts and projects to fund and help perpetuate this movement so that we can start building ships, so that we can send people over there to help we help the refugees who want to leave that country, and then we can offer them a new place to live and work and help grow this good movement and give themselves a good place to live and grow up that's not full of a bunch of people that want to kill them for whatever reason. That's just, with this crisis, and I call it a crisis because it really is a crisis, what's going on right now all over the world. It's been a crisis for a number of years, and it's just growing now to a more tumultuous point. And we're starting to see the shapes of things as they start to merge and turn into, a melting pot of conflicting energies. So you can take away the elements of this alchemy from the pot that don't really need to be there, that don't want to be there. And I think there's a lot of people, and a lot of women and children and men too, who are getting caught up in this whole fucking play, and they don't really have anywhere else to go. They're stuck in a fucking land with all these terrorists and fucking fearmongers and crazy people and mercenaries who are killing people left and right just to fucking propagate an evil agenda. So, sending money to them is good. Making sure that they have food is good. Making sure they have shelter, giving them, an area within that area to be safe and secure is good. But in my opinion, what's even better is if we develop that here in America, where we have plenty of land, where we have plenty of resources, where we have, I feel, plenty of people who would love to be a part of this movement. And the more people we have who are helping to work with this thing, the stronger we're going to be. And I think now, especially with all the different types of lies and just bullshit that's going on, people are more dissatisfied and discontent with the way that our government is handling things than ever. Or maybe not ever, but we're at a high level of discontent and unrest. And this is good, but it can also be bad, because a lot of times this type of shit leads to riots and chaos and anarchy and pillaging, and it can perpetuate more evilness if it's not orchestrated and directed the right way. But if we develop places for people to work and live and help perpetuate this good movement in hemp and show them alternative technologies, develop good and healthy solutions to solving these problems, then we can redirect that energy and transmutate it into something that's actually a solution instead of a problem. Because we are at a point to where, if things aren't, I don't want to get too fire and brimstone-y, but the fact of the matter is, if proper measures and actions aren't taken, evilness will run rampant and continue to perpetuate and continue to ravage all that it can. And faith without works is dead. So we all have a duty, I feel, as Christians, and I think every human being should feel like they have a duty to help out their fellow humankind, because to me that just feels like an inherent human thing to do, is to help each other out and the rest of the planet and the rest of the life forms. A lot of people say that stuff, nurture nature, like, I get that to a point, but I've seen a lot of people who've been through a lot of crazy shit, been nurtured in a lot of pain and anguish and hate, and yet there's still something inside of them that resonates with love, which resonates with compassion, which resonates with a desire to help other people and to be a part of something that's good and healthy. And based on the environment we live in, that's not what's being perpetuated. So that must come from somewhere else. And it's, in my opinion, that comes from God, that comes from the Creator, that comes from the Most Highs, that comes from us being like God, being created in the image of and likeness of God. But great power demands or requires great responsibility. And because we have let our responsibility down and let free markets run wild and do all these crazy toxic, pollutional, fucking, abusing animals, abusing children, perpetuating fucking spells and sins that, they know we have a weakness for, but we've allowed it in because it's a free market system and people want to make money, and we think by making money we become more powerful, and by becoming more powerful we become more successful. And I think we're at a point now to where we need to really realize that that's not true. Yeah, you might be able to have more power as far as your voltage in your battery or in your bank account, but the real power, the real currency comes from your energy, comes from your soul, comes from your connection to God, to the ethers, to Mother Nature. And I think we're also living very close to a time when supernatural powers, divine powers, powers of truly God being harnessed and vesseled through human beings, is going to be the thing that's going to, if need be, stop a lot of these wicked entities and beings. Like, just for example, like if tanks and guns and things of this nature are literally coming to us as a threat, I think as long as we stand our ground and hold our faith and have everything, like, not just out of nowhere, like, this is why it's important that we start perpetuating this movement now, so that we can show God, we can show our fellow human beings, we can show everybody and everything that we really are about doing whatever the fuck it is we can to perpetuate this goodness and this good godly ways of doing things, so that when the devil does come, when he does come marching on us, which I think he will, because that's just what the devil does, is he still kills and destroys, we will have built up a good enough connection within ourselves and with God, so that God sees us worthy to give us what we need to do, what we need to do to deal with the devil. Now, if that means we all just get slaughtered, that means we all get slaughtered. You know, if it means that he comes down and helps put a stop to this thing himself, then so be it. Or maybe he gives us the ability to do these things too, in propagation of us following the right way, following the word of Jesus Christ. But it's going to come down to that, man. I don't think fighting this war with tanks and guns and bombs and fucking oil and all that shit, all those things exploit from the earth. All those things are designed to kill humankind and other animals. All those things are extremely pollutant, are extremely expensive, are extremely noisy. Just from a spiritual level, when you look at a tank or a gun or something, it has a particular weight to it. It has a caliber of essence that is not of love, okay? The human body, when you really look at it, it does not carry a wicked essence. Now, if the person who is using the human body is doing wicked things, that in itself will have a certain reverberation, but that's not from the human body, that's from what they choose to do with their human body. So if we choose to do good things, we choose to do loving things with our body, we're going to continue to perpetuate and magnify and radiate that beauty and that love all over and everywhere we go, and be like God, our creator, who created us to be like him. And he's an all-loving God, so it would make good sense for us to be all-loving as well as we can. And since we don't own anything, God created everything, then how can we even, it's really not right for us to go about hoarding on to things that we don't own. It's not right for us to look down on other people because they don't own shit and you may own a mansion. It's not right for you to withhold, stockpiles of goods and abilities to help perpetuate those goods if you can, when there's so many in need. And is it even right for you to have all that stuff in the first place? I don't know. Less is more, they say. And that whole thing goes back to you having more of a connection to spirit and less of a connection to flesh. So the more things that you have, the more things you have associated with yourself, the more things you claim ownership of, the less you are going to have of spirit. It's just the way this thing works. So, I don't have all the blueprints and, the game plans and the business plan ready for this nonprofit organization. But one of the ways that I help get myself back into working on this is by speaking about it and sharing it with you guys, and also hoping that, you guys can take whatever it is that I have, if it resonates with you, and do whatever you can with it, because we all have different purposes and places in life. But I just see, when I look at things from a strategic standpoint, because I'm very much into strategy and military and being a soldier, I see money going over there and helping them out, and that's beautiful and that's good. But for me, I'm trying to think of the long-term plan. I'm trying to think of the most cipher way to solve this thing so that it doesn't continue to fucking happen. And to me, that is just developing our own infrastructure that's completely independent from all of this crazy wickedness. And then when we do so, we open up, it's always going to be open, but we allow those who want to come to come. And then in doing so, we can also build ships. We can build even planes. We can build other vehicles to help transport people from point A to point B. Give them true sanctuary instead of just continuing to feed them and give them clothes in a place that's always going to have to be looking over your shoulder, that you're always going to have to worry about stepping on landmines and getting shot or getting raped. It's good that we're helping those people out, but the real way to really fucking help them out is to get them the fuck out of there. We have the land here, we have the space here, we have the resource here, we have plenty of people with good, beautiful hearts here. So why not utilize that to the best of our advantage? All right, I love you guys. Hope you're all doing well. All right, bye.